Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Nuggets of Wisdom. Today, we will be reading Chapter 8 of Shad Helmstetter's Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It. This has been a wonderful tool to get inspired to make changes to improve my life. For the month of August 2024, I'm going to dedicate my sleep times, at least, with rewiring my brain with positive affirmations and positive information to help rewire my brain. Chapter 8, Key Questions and Their Answers. Okay, let us begin, or let us continue. This chapter identifies the most frequently asked questions about negative self-talk and includes my personal answers to each of them. I have studied and taught the concept of self-talk for most of my professional career, now over 40 years. In that time, I have also had the honor of speaking to hundreds of audiences, often made up of many thousands of attendees. My favorite part of any speaking event is the question and answer period, and I doubt there is any question on this subject that I haven't been asked. Here are what I believe to be the most important questions about negative self-talk and their answers. So you may want to get your journal out and take some notes. Question number 1. Can anyone change their self-talk? If you want to change your self-talk, you can. I've never met anyone who wanted to change their self-talk who couldn't do it. In most cases, they had wanted to change it and they had to follow a few practical steps as outlined in the Institute's guide. But when they followed those steps, their self-talk changed. The reason people achieve reliable success with this is that the brain is designed to rewire itself. So, if you learn how to rewire your brain in the right way, your brain has no choice. It will do what it was designed to do. The key is to make your brain's natural programming process work for you instead of against you. Question number 2. How long does it take to change your self-talk if you're actively working at it? If you're on the fast track following the Institute's recommendations and listening to positive self-talk audio sessions daily, you will notice a difference in your thinking almost immediately, within the first few days. That will tell you it's starting to work. As was stated in the guide, it takes a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks of repetition for the new self-talk to start actually becoming wired in. However, you'll notice the differences in your self-talk and in your thinking even while that's happening. Then, by staying with it, your new self-talk will continue to get stronger and stronger until thinking in the new self-talk becomes a fully wired-in habit. Question number 3. When should you start teaching positive self-talk to kids? Start being a self-talk role model now, whatever age your kids are. Any child or young person above the age of about 2 years old begins to understand the idea of repeated messages. Most kids today, from about age 4 or 5 on up, are familiar with computers or personal electronic devices and can understand that what you type into them is what you get back out. Always let them know you believe in them, and then talk to them about their own self-talk and let them know that whatever they tell their own mental computer is what they will get back. Self-belief and self-determination have created more great kids than almost anything else. Remember, you are the most important programmer your kids will ever have. Question number 4. Can you change your self-talk by writing affirmations or reminders and reading them to yourself each day? Or do you need to listen to new self-talk to replace the old? Affirmations, for the most part, are good. The problem is that in their common use today, affirmations are seldom strong enough or detailed enough to change your underlying programs. Without the right strength and specific detail, reading or repeating a few affirmations each day will not change the programs that are buried in the subconscious part of your brain. The popular use of affirmations was one of the starting gates into my research into self-talk. What I found is that while many affirmations express wonderful sentiments like, "I am one with the divine universe," or "the world gives to me what I declare," the words can make you feel better for a short time, but the affirmations themselves do almost nothing to rewire your brain. Most affirmations as they are used today are not worded in a way that your brain can interpret them as actual, specific directions that you want it to follow. And that's the problem. Affirmations don't pay the rent or get you to work on time. I have occasionally been challenged for suggesting that people should listen to recorded self-talk instead of doing something more homemade or personal, such as writing self-talk refrigerator notes or putting affirmations on the mirror. But changing your brain takes more than that, okay? Over the years, I've gone through all of the easy sounding steps for changing a person's internal self-talk from negative to positive, but it gets down to physics, the chemistry of the brain, and how rewiring the brain actually works. Knowing the science and the truth of that, if I had only one chance to help anyone I cared about change their self-talk and get it right, based on what neuroscience and many years of experience have taught me, I would urge them to listen to self-talk recordings every day. Number 5, how does self-talk relate to spiritual beliefs? The concept of changing your self-talk, because it is based on solid neuroscience, is accepted broadly worldwide, and it is understood and used daily by people of all faiths. The Bible itself, where I was first introduced to the idea of changing your self-talk, written centuries before modern technology, speaks directly to the importance of changing your thoughts in Romans 12:2, when it says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That is one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and that's exactly what the right self-talk helps you do. Imagine being transformed by the renewing of your mind. It is a thought that has never left me. Number 6, can you change someone else's negative self-talk if they don't know they have a problem or if they don't want to change their own self-talk? With most adults, the short answer is no. If the other person isn't interested in changing, they probably won't. The most frequent exception to this is when a husband or a wife, for example, has wanted to help their mate change his or her self-talk from negative to positive. In each case, the helpful partner played audio self-talk sessions in the background each morning while the two of them were getting ready for work, without mentioning to their partner that the intent was to help them. Over time, usually a few weeks, the negative partner began to show a difference in attitude and then began rephrasing comments into a positive form. Once they became aware that their thinking was improving, they began to make noticeable and often life-changing improvements. This is another case where their brain was listening and taking the self-talk in, even if they weren't actively listening. This eavesdrop method can also work well with teenagers and younger kids. Question number 7. What if you don't believe it will work? What if you ignore the science, or don't accept the concept, or just don't believe changing your self-talk will work? The answer is that your brain doesn't care whether you believe it or not. If you change the repeated messages you give to your brain, it will record them, wire them in, and act on them. It has no choice. Question number 8. How can you protect yourself from the negative self-talk of others? In your brain, the strongest programs win. That means that if you have strong, positive programs yourself, you will be less likely to be influenced by the negative programs of people around you or other input sources like today's often negative internet posts and even television news. You can't change the world's negative programs, but you can make sure that the programs you have are very strong and very positive. When you do that, your stronger, more positive programs will override the negatives you hear from others. Don't be surprised, however, that when you start practicing self-talk, you may find yourself making changes like being more careful in selecting the people you choose to spend your time with, limiting the time you spend reading toxic posts online, or notice yourself watching fewer programs on television that focus on bad news. Question number 9. How important is it to know what your negative programs are or how you got them? We've learned that it's best if you spend almost no time focusing on every negative program you might have or how you got each of them. Other than monitoring your programs now so you can get a clear picture of what they are, the more you focus on old negative programs, the more you will send new energy to them and make them stronger. An exception to this is exploring old, deeply rooted programs with a therapist or counselor who understands self-talk and programming. Instead of spending time focusing on your old negative programs, focus instead on a new decision to learn and practice the new language of positive self-talk. Then stick with it. In time, the new programs will replace the old. Question number 10. Are there any drawbacks to listening to self-talk or starting to think in the positive? Yes. As an example, when you begin to seriously think better or differently in the positive, you could lose some of your friends. That is, the negative people who weren't your real friends in the first place. You could find yourself making a change in your career path. You may no longer be comfortable about going nowhere in some areas of your life and choose to make some changes in those areas. That can create some dramatic changes you have to deal with. You may start setting new goals in your life that could surprise everyone you know. Those kinds of situations may appear to be drawbacks at first, but they usually turn out to be positive changes as the new self-talk begins to go to work in your life. Question number 11. What are the primary benefits of changing your self-talk? Turning your life from thinking negative to living positive by changing your self-talk has a long list of benefits. Here are just a few of them. A. You like yourself more, and you also care about others more. B. You change from living in fear of tomorrow to living with positive but realistic anticipation for the exciting things tomorrow can bring. C. People who think positively, both about their life and about themselves as individuals, tend to get more organized and more in control of their life each day. D. People who change their self-talk to the positive often begin taking care of themselves more and as a result live a more healthy life overall. E. In nearly every case, people who change their self-talk report that their relationships almost immediately begin to get better. Their honesty is more intact, and they are able to deal with the normal challenges with other people in a more direct, positive, and effective way. When one of you stops being negative, it stops the negative cycle, and that can't help but improve the relationship. F. People who change their self-talk set goals that are more clearly defined and then take the right steps to reach them, sometimes for the first time ever. G. People who practice positive self-talk typically find that they reduce stress in their life and create more peace of mind. H. Changing your self-talk improves your quality of life. You see things in a brighter, more optimistic way, and you are able to deal with problems more effectively. I. Focusing on positive self-talk in specific areas of your life can help you achieve benefits such as losing weight, doing better at your job, getting clear on your career focus, improving your relationship with your partner, getting along better with your kids, increasing your income, finding your purpose in life, or all of the above. Question number 12. What stops some people from changing their self-talk? When the results of changing your self-talk are apparent, clearly helpful, and usually life-changing, why would anyone who understands the idea not immediately embark on a program to change their self-talk? What stops them? Their old programs stop them. Procrastination, fear, doubt, disbelief, and denial are the tools of self-sabotage that keep us from doing what we know we should do. And all of these are programs. Surprisingly, it is technology that is helping people get past their excuses. Because of our current technology, with smartphones and tablets, we have an easier way to learn the language of positive self-talk. Today, changing your self-talk requires only that you click on a play symbol on your favorite topic on the online self-talk streaming site and let the new self-talk play in the background as you go about your day. When you do that, you are suddenly listening to the exact self-talk that overrides the negative programs that cause the procrastination, the fear, the doubt, the disbelief, and the denial in the first place. When this happens and you begin to experience the results for yourself, it may seem like magic, but it isn't. It's a combination of neuroscience, technology, and your own desire to change your self-talk for the better. Wow. That concludes Chapter 8 of Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It by Shad Helmstetter, PhD. I will see you in the final chapter, Chapter 9. Take care.